少年ジャンプス。
Oh baby, it is once again time to ride on shooting star, my dudes. Welcome back to Shonen Chumps, the only anime podcast on the gosh darn internet that features the three of us. As always, I'm Brennan.
I'm Sean.
I'm Dylan.
And if you didn't know what we do here, you probably do know. But if you didn't know, we watch anime and then we hang out with you and talk about it. And this week, as you are probably well aware by now, the anime that we did watch is none other than Fooly Cooly Progressive.
As always, if you want to talk to us or reach us, you can email us at shonenchumps.com. Wait. shonenchumps@gmail.com.
We don't have our own domain.
Yeah, no, not yet. You can tweet at us at shonenchumps. We're also on YouTube or SoundCloud or Apple iTunes Podcast, the Google Play Store if you want to listen to us. And as I always say every week now, if you want to rate us on one of the podcast services like the Apple iTunes podcast service,
be it good or bad, whatever you want.
Yeah, whatever you want. I will read your review out on the podcast like I'm about to do right now.
Yes.
So someone reviewed us called Bun Buns 3. The title says genuinely good with 5 stars. I like it so far.
That's lovely.
And so, okay, the body of the review says this. I have been battling bad seasonal depression and insomnia for a while. And since my love for anime has kicked back in, I was looking for a podcast to help me focus when things aren't great. Shonen Chumps came into my life, and their episodes make me laugh and have gotten me to sleep. That's good, I think. Yeah, that's good. They're all very genuine and funny, talk in depth about themes and characters, and are fellow Canadians. Only downside is they hate my fave, Bakugo. Just kidding. Love the show so much, and thanks for all you do. Well, Bun Buns, we love you.
Bun Buns?
That is
That's beautiful. You finna make me cry, fam.
It's so heartwarming to hear someone write that about us.
I know. Yeah. Thank you so much.
This is something, we're just doing it for fun.
Yeah, we're just a couple of idiots.
Hang out and
doing the damn thing.
Dude, we're glad to help.
Yeah. We're glad that you're Canadian. We're glad that you love us.
Thank you for taking the time to write that. That was very special.
Yeah.
It means a lot to us.
We love you. I'm glad that your interest in anime has kicked back in.
Yeah, fuck yeah, amazing. Bun Buns. Yeah. Hell yeah.
And I just want you to know, I don't actually hate Bakugo.
Yeah,
we're talking about the guy in My Hero Academia.
I do. Go on.
He's a good boy, but he's a spicy one.
He's becoming cooler. I can see it now. Season 3, baby. Season 3. He's
cooler
now.
It's in the cards. But yeah, if you'd like to join the ranks of Bun Buns and everybody else who's written into the podcast so far, feel free to drop us a review. Or if you just want to talk to us, hit us up. We love talking to you. All of you who talk to us on a regular basis, we love you. Thanks for your suggestions. Thanks for your thoughts. We want it all.
Hell yeah. Okay, guys, now, Fooly Cooly Progressive. The second season, technically, of Fooly Cooly.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys remember when the first season first aired?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, no.
The year 2000.
Yeah, I'm saying I don't remember when it. Oh, do I remember it when it was coming out, or do I remember the year that it came out? Do I know the answer?
The year.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So this season, just like the last season, was 6 episodes long. Now, what do you guys think about the second season of Fooly Cooley in one sentence? Dylan. Oh no!
I had
a couple options for my sentence today, and in the end, I decided to go with. I haven't been this confused since Ghost in the Shell 2: Innocence. And if you don't know how I feel about Ghost in the Shell 2: Innocence,
God.
Let me tell you, there's a whole podcast on that.
Oh baby,
podcast episode on that.
Oh baby,
and I didn't like it.
Ghost in the Shell or Fooly Cooley? Is that your whole?
Well, I'm talking about Ghost in the Shell, but also Fooly Cooley. Progressive. This is not my sentence anymore. This is me just looking at Brennan with heartfelt eyes. I wanted to like it. I wanted to be that for you, but it's just not there, dude. It's not there.
That's a good sentence. Brennan, how did you feel in the sentence?
Okay, my sentence is... Lightning doesn't strike twice, but I've never rocked harder in my life.
That sounds like a proper review, like the kind of thing that would be on the back of a book, like quotes Tom Clancy.
That's the title of the review when you go to like IGN.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay, my sentence is Fooly Cooley Progressive is the Star Wars The Force Awakens of the Fooly Cooley franchise.
Whoa.
Right.
That's really interesting.
It's kind of like a rehash.
It's been 18 years.
It just takes everything that was there before, throws it in a blender, spits it out back at you. It's like, hey, we're still cool, right?
Right? We good. Fooly Cooley.
Yeah.
Cootie.
Now let's start there. In Progressive, I don't think we get a single Fooly Cooley. We just get a text message that says FLCL.
We get a couple coolies in there.
Where?
Do we?
Yeah. At least, I mean, I know. They're very subtle. It's not so overt as them having, like, an argument through a manga panel.
It's a covert Fooly Cooley?
Yes, dude.
Where?
Yes.
Do you?
I can remember at least one when I think it was like episode 3 or 2, the beach episode when Haruko kidnaps Hidomi. Is that her name?
Yes,
that's her name. Right?
It is.
Okay. Yeah, when Haruko kidnaps Hidomi and like has her tied up, and Ide's going to go find her in the abandoned medical mechanica facility. All you hear from like the room that she's locked up in is like cootie.
Oh yeah.
So there's like little weird moments when it happens, but
I didn't know that.
It does happen.
Also, that scene that you're mentioning with Haruko in a nurse's outfit happens in the first season. Also, you guys remember that?
Fooly Cooley.
Yes. Yeah.
The original.
Yes.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Of course. How could I forget?
Yeah. Guys, where do we start with the show? It's so fucking random.
There's
okay,
but did you expect anything different though?
You know what? I think I looked back on Fooly Cooley original with like
let's talk
rose-colored glasses. I was just like I was like, oh, that was like a fun, weird little show. Yeah. And then I watched this season and I was like, wow, this is what Fooly Cooley was.
Fair.
Or maybe I think that this is significantly worse than the original.
Yes.
Okay.
Because like at least in the original, I could like pick up on themes and characters and their motivations,
right?
Yes.
And such. Dude, I have no idea what's going on in this show. I really, really don't.
Okay, fair. Sean, did you like in hindsight? How do you feel about the original Fooly Cooley?
Fooly Cooley season 1 is still a masterpiece.
Okay.
If this second season came out just like a year later after the first season,
right,
it probably would not be a masterpiece. I mean, like the first season probably would not be a masterpiece because this would have sullied it.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't have that 18-year difference in time between them.
Right, yeah.
I think the first season is great and it's intentionally weird. But the second season almost says like, hey, do you remember all that stuff from the first season? And is it like hardly ingrained inside of your brain?
Right.
And to the point where everything sounds logical? Oh, well, you're going to need all that knowledge for this second season.
Yeah, definitely.
You're going to need to remember that like dicks come out of people's heads.
Yeah.
And then they lead to monsters coming out.
NO portals, baby.
Yeah. What does NO stand for again?
I don't remember.
Yeah, right. I remember reading that on Wikipedia a long time ago.
I don't remember anything from season 1. No, that's not true. But like, I don't remember like the nuances.
So. Right.
Yeah.
Do you remember the guy's eyebrows falling off?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I
remember
his
son's in this show.
Yes. Mr.
What?
Dylan.
Oh my, you missed
Dylan,
that?
tell me that you saw that.
Cheapers, my
No.
guy.
What?
In episode 6
Amaro.
in episode 6 of this show, Progressive,
Yeah.
at the end when the credits are rolling, not even at the end of the credits, the beginning of the credits, an old lady walks up to the red-haired guy with the baseball cap who's always
Masura.
hanging around the eye patch man. Yeah. As Brendan
are-
is saying the names of the characters. And she
Eye
says,
Patch
like,
Man's name is just Eye Patch.
yeah, I know, yeah. She says, your eyebrows are really small, just like your father. And he's
Yeah.
like, don't talk about my eyebrows.
Yeah, so this is a generation
I didn't make the
after-
connection. I remember that.
And
part.
he honestly looks just like his father.
got
I just
the-
assumed he might be the same character.
Yeah, he's got the same hair, he's got the same face shape, and he does the same jobs as his dad. They both work for the immigration department of
Which means,
aliens
like,
and shit.
how old is Naoto right now?
Dude.
Is he, like, old as fuck?
So, okay, before we get too far into characters, I just want to rehash what I was saying with my sentence. Is that, yeah, lightning doesn't strike twice. Like, this is not the first series by any means. It doesn't reach the same heights at all. And since we last reviewed Fooly Cooley, the first series, I've watched the show front to back maybe twice after that. So 3 times in total. The third time being before we actually started watching the new series. And like, I think I can say for sure that the original series is probably my second favorite anime now. I think it's broken into the top 3.
Yeah, you mentioned
no
that
question.
even on other episodes. You've mentioned that you think that Fooly
Dude.
Cooley's in your top 3 or something.
It is it is without a question just a masterpiece. Just everything it tries to do, everything it delivers, and the way it delivers it, it's beautiful. It's a work of art from start to finish. And that is not what Progressive is. Like you said, it takes the same elements, throws it in a blender, and kind of chucks it back at you. But I feel like if you had rewatched the first series, I think it's like almost, it is like imperative that you watch the first series immediately before watching Progressive, because like the plot of it hangs so much on the lore that's built up in the first series that if like without keeping any of that stuff in mind, like you're saying, if it's not fresh in your mind,
Yeah.
you're fucked.
Yes.
Do you think that that's a good way to construct a show? Because
No.
I don't think so. I think that's, okay, I just wanted to make sure because like I don't know. This is just one example that's coming to my head, and it's not even anime, but like Blade Runner 2049 was like an incredible sequel. It was just
Yeah.
a dope movie, and like part of what was good was that it can stand on its own, and it's like reinforced by like Blade Runner, which came out like
Right.
30 years before it.
Right.
And so this, I don't want to have to rewatch Fooly Cooley season 1 so that I can understand season 2. It's
Yeah.
been 18 years, dude. Deliver to me earlier if you want me to remember.
The thing with season 1 is that it's just a silly, fun show, both in
Yeah.
animation and story, and it dialogue, everything.
Right.
And you're learning all these like intricate things about the lives of each individual character that it's so cool.
Right, which they don't do this time.
No, but like
At least,
the
well,
reason why
yeah.
Progressive is so weird is because almost the only thing that it takes from the first series is the lore.
Yeah,
It
right.
doesn't take the easygoing living lifestyle
Yeah.
of like the first
I
season.
mean, it
There's no
tries.
heart.
to
yeah,
listen-
there's no heart.
I definitely agree with you guys on that, but like it does try, and I don't think it succeeded.
Right.
Because it takes Hidomi and like she says the same line as Naota basically, where she's like, nothing interesting ever happens in this town, and it's the same
Sure, that was a nice callback.
existential like teenage malaise of like
Right.
not being able to get out of your hometown, or just like being like every day is the same, everything is boring, I don't know who I am, I'm not interested in anything, which is what the core of Hitomi's character is. Like when we're first introduced to her, she's so dull and boring and just like a nothing, and you're like, why is this is the main character of the new series? Like,
Right.
give me something. Like at least Naoto was like a plucky, like sort of like he was pissed about it at least.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
he was
he
kind
had-
of like feisty. When
Yeah,
people-
he had more like stuff to him. So I was like, why? Like why is it like this? And then I kind of realized, I was like, oh, they're just trying to hit at like the apathy that comes with being a teenager, because like there is frustration, but there also is just like a void. And I very distinctly remember that feeling as like a teenager, like a young teenager, just being like, wow, there is nothing.
Sure, but like even if you had that, you weren't just a void.
Right.
There was a character there. I feel like there was like almost no character there.
But like, I think it's worth saying that there's two main characters this time. There's
Right.
Ide,
There is, yeah. Ide.
who is like the sexually charged one that seems to just want to have sex.
Right.
Right.
Would you consider him a main character?
Yeah,
Right?
Yes, I
No
would.
question.
Sorry, the lead character though?
Yeah, I
One
think
of
it's
two.
him and her. Especially like when you first enter the classroom in episode 1 and you're seeing him talk to all his buddies about how he just like might have fucked the teacher.
Yeah.
Like at me, from my perspective, I was like, so which one is the main character?
Okay,
Obviously, I was
interesting.
expecting the girl to be, but it seemed like they wanted to throw me off and wanted to present both characters as being that. Brennan, while you were talking, you just made me realize how brilliant the first season is.
Yeah.
Because what the first season is this whiny main character who's only the main character because his brother left the city. His brother should be the main character of that show. That's the interesting guy that everybody cares about.
Oh,
what
that is
Fully Cooley
genius.
season 1 is a show with side characters. The main character's left to America.
Dude,
I
That's
agree.
great, dude. I'm just thinking about this now.
You
Yeah,
just made me like Fully
That's
Cooley
so
more.
cool.
The first season, just
I
to clarify.
definitely,
Right.
yeah, I agree. I think, yeah, definitely, like, his brother is, like, your typical protagonist.
Yeah.
But, like, the reason Naota's so interesting is because you're trying to, like, you're seeing how he copes with the loss of this
Right.
major figure in his development as a young person, like, just up and leaving, and then him
Yeah.
just dealing with that as like a child and then learning to sort of be an adult about it and sort of coming into his own over the course of like 6 episodes. And it's just so masterfully executed.
Yeah.
And they try that again, actually, in Alternative with Hidomi's dad, but it's such like an afterthought in the grand scale of things that like it doesn't make any sense when they try to wrap it up with some kind of payoff between like her and her mom, and
Right.
they're like trying to establish the relationship, and it's like she's trying to deal with like the abandonment that she feels from her father leaving, and she's trying to hold on to her mom and the cafe, but in the grand scheme of things none of that matters because it doesn't factor into her personality or what she does in the show, because what she does in the show is more or less just chase after Ide.
Right.
And even that relationship is kind of, it's not even like romantic with like Mamimi and Naota, where it's like Naota is like sort of hanging out with Mamimi because she's his brother's ex-girlfriend and he wants to be his brother so badly that's like, okay, I'm low-key gonna try fuck your girl while you're gone. But Mamimi wants to hang out with Naota because he reminds her of his brother. So it's like there's
Right.
something there like deeply within both of them.
Yeah, so in Progressive, everything's kind of a little more stale when it comes to the sex and relationships because
Right.
everything is so basic. It's just like boy likes girl, girl likes boy. They just need to admit it to each other. But in the first season, everything is like weirdly sexually charged. It's like,
Yeah.
you're older than me, this shouldn't be happening. You used to fuck my brother. This is oddly a little bit incestual,
Yeah,
but
it's not
we
right.
both want it to happen, but we don't.
And
it's just like
yeah.
this weird duality.
There's a lot
where
of
it's
tension there. I
Yes.
think this season is devoid of tension. Like,
Yes.
you're talking
100%,
You're
yeah.
talking about them liking each other, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
That-
I forgot that.
Yeah. Honestly,
That's not something that is like, I don't know, even like put forth like really well. It's really hard for me to remember how I felt about Fooly Cooley because I remember watching it, and even my sentence for Fooly Cooley last episode, it was I didn't get the show, I didn't like the show.
Right.
But I think maybe you guys might have convinced me of its merits.
Yeah.
And now thinking back, and you guys bringing points about it, I am convinced that maybe it was a pretty good show, even if it wasn't for me.
right.
But this show, I don't think I can be convinced of that.
can you guys tell me why Ide and Hidomi like each other? Like why?
Probably for
no.
Did you guys notice a moment? Because the only thing that like can click in my head as to why they might like each other is because they've shared this, like they're both on like the side of being woke to the weirdness that's happening in their town. It's like they both know some shit's up. Like as soon as the Octo monster attacks Hidomi in her room,
Right.
and like Ide comes flying out of the air and like lands in the ground like a pencil, which was
That's
very
really funny, by the way.
It's
Yeah.
fucking hilarious. Which is what I think the show retains some of its charm. Don't get me wrong, but like also they're just in it together, and that's the only reason they have to be with one another.
Right.
That's fine, but it didn't seem like enough. It didn't feel
Yeah.
like enough.
No.
I didn't think so necessarily either, but yeah.
The best part of the show is episode 1, the opening scene, the song.
Yeah.
That's the best part of the show.
the
as far
pillows
as
are
I'm
back.
concerned.
Oh fucking
That
hell yeah.
song is fire. The way the synth line changes into her phone alarm, waking her up.
Yeah.
Right.
That's cool.
It was all very cool.
I liked the pillows being back, although for a long time while watching Progressive, I didn't realize that they'd made any more new music. I just thought it was all the same old shit.
I mean, they did redo like a couple songs. They did
Okay.
like Last Dinosaur, I Think I Can. There's one more in there, but they redid them, and I thought they sounded great. I was actually like a huge fan of like all of the new shit that the Pillows brought to this. I was like, oh my god, yes, because you better believe since we podcasted Fooly Cooly 1, I did find all of their music, and I have been listening to it daily because it is thoroughly my shit.
Right. I love that shit too.
It fucking, that's what I mean. It fucking rocks so hard. And like, even though like they did miss, I guess like the thing is with Progressive, it doesn't have a heart, but it was so cool to look at, and like it sounded great, it looked great, and like even like following the lore was interesting enough that I still had a great time watching this. Like I
Right.
did enjoy this a lot.
Yeah, I can say that I enjoyed it too, but not to the way of the first season. Like, in the first season, the pace is so incredibly fucking fast and all this random shit is happening.
Right.
But everything makes sense a little bit. Like, scenes lead to one another and you can tell why the plot is
Yeah,
flowing.
yeah.
Whereas, like, I'd be watching Progressive and I would zone out for, like, 10 seconds and not know how the fuck we got anywhere.
Yeah, that
it's
is
almost like they're... It's like they just wanted to make a sequel to Fooly Cooly. They didn't,
Right.
like, I'm not going to say the passion wasn't there. Obviously, these people are incredibly talented, and they most likely adore Fooly Cooly.
Yeah.
But, like, the creator's intent wasn't there, is
Right.
what I'm getting
like
at.
I was definitely happy to have more.
Yeah.
Like just like I'm assuming many fans of Fooly Cooly are just stoked to have more, because it was like 6 episodes 18 years ago and it's like that was
Right.
it. But like I knew, like, even before watching the show, it's like it's not like I went in like with low expectations or anything, but I just like, you can't capture that again. And even if you if you tried to, it would just be like a shadow. It would be in the shadow of the first season.
Right.
And like I don't think they were going to go for something new just based on like what we got in like terms of promotional material. I was like, okay, this is probably going to follow the plot, I guess.
Right.
And like that's the thing, the actual plot of the first season of Fooly Cooly doesn't even really come to light until the very end of the series. Everything kind of falls into place, and then it's like, oh, this whole show has been about Haruko chasing her space pirate parrot
Yeah.
that she loves. And then it all culminates, and that's the end of it. And it just goes out with a fucking huge bang.
Right.
Yeah, so what was the point of this show? Sorry, wait, I don't want to interrupt your thought.
No, that was like the end of it.
Okay, so what was the point of this show? What look, honestly, what happened? Like, if
okay.
you can give me beats.
Yeah,
Like,
okay, so, like-
girl doesn't like her town, so does the boy. Silver-haired lady shows up.
Let's do that. You guys,
What?
Well,
there's only
okay.
6 episodes, so let's talk about each episode. I can tell you what happens.
I have some things to bring up first.
Okay, before we do.
Thing
this.
number 1.
Yeah.
The main character's dad's left.
Yes.
And she's, like, managing this cafe with her mom.
Yeah.
Did it ever occur to you guys that her dad could be Naota from the first season?
No, but that's very cool.
Yeah.
Now that you
I
mentioned that. That's
I
cool.
was
I really want it to
thinking-
be.
yeah, okay, like I was thinking about it because I was like, as soon as her mom was like looking at the new medical mechanica facility, like all dreamy like, and was
The
like,
iron?
yeah, and
Yeah.
was like, oh, I wonder where he is now. It's making the same sound as last time. I was
Yeah.
like, did she know Naota or something? Is she talking about Naota? Like, I feel like that's what the show is probably implying. Now that
Yeah.
you mention it, it's like she's probably Naota's kid, because like this is a generation below, and it's still happening on Earth. So,
Right. And now my second question is
Yeah.
at the end of like the end credit sequence to every every
Yes,
episode,
dude.
you see what happens when Haruko tried to join with Adamsk.
So like, yeah,
Is that how you say it?
Adamsk. Adamsk.
Adamsk.
The
Yeah.
immediate follow-up after the ending of the first season, Fully Coolly, basically.
Yeah, which is just that her body splits up into two different beings.
And then
of some
it
sort.
scatters. Like, the rest of his
I don't
powers...
think I was paying attention to that.
Dude, this is why you didn't get the show.
Never paid attention to like the ending credit sequence.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
I don't know, dude. It's so hard to
This is-
remember because, like, I know I watched them, but I think I was just so jumbled up because of not
Right.
knowing what
Yeah.
happened in the
Yeah.
episode.
Well, I don't blame you necessarily, because if we're going by the first season, the end credit sequence is just a live action shot of somebody riding around a Vespa around
yeah,
the
and like
With the
I don't know, a
greatest
lot of
song of
times-
all time.
Right,
Yeah,
but
that song is-
yes, that song's fucking amazing. But
Yeah.
in Progressive, it's actually vital to you to know
it's-
why we have a second character,
yeah.
Julia Jinyu.
Jinyu,
So they're
dude.
from the same being.
They're the same being,
Yeah,
apparently.
it's so...
Also,
yeah.
what's her face is Haruko. Her hair was pink, but now it's orange. Is it orange because
They
the
split
pink
up.
part split up into a new being?
Because she becomes pink again once she reconsumes Jinyu.
Also, it doesn't make any fucking sense, because shouldn't this Julia Jinyu actually be like an aspect of her personality to some
Well,
extent?
she is. But we'll get into that.
Can we get into it now?
I mean... Well... I don't know. I've got one more thing to say about
Right.
that whole intro
Okay.
or outro sequence, rather. I remember you said something to us earlier. You're saying, I think it was in our group chat, where you're like, it's similar to Fully Coolly. Oh no, we were just talking about it. You're like, it's similar to Fully Coolly 1, except none of the original characters show up. But in that outro sequence, when we see all of the parts of Adamsk flying all over the place,
Right.
we see people on the ground looking up. And one of those people looks like Mamimi, because she's smoking a cigarette and she has a camera in her hand. And at the end of Fully Coolly 1, we know she left the town to become a photographer.
This is true.
And we see a figure, I'm not sure if it's a boy or like something slightly larger than a boy, holding a guitar on top of a pile of debris.
Right.
Just like how Naota was looking off into the sky as Haruko bounced.
Right. I did
So-
not notice those characters in that shot.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a callback. And it's like, oh, they still exist in this world, guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, wouldn't they, though?
Well, yeah, but also, like,
Yeah.
you know, this isn't happening on another planet somewhere. Or
Right,
some, like,
right.
Some shit like that.
Yeah,
So I
good
thought
to
that
know.
was cool.
Good to confirm.
But anyways, back to Jinyu.
Right. So, like, what aspect of Haruko's personality is she?
It's
At all?
the part of her, I guess, that secretly knows that she can't contain Adamsk at all. And that Adamsk should be free by nature of being a space pirate parrot.
Right.
Yeah, but she's in hardcore denial and is, I guess, driven by her selfish need to... Like, they explain this very beautifully. It's like chasing something just because you know you can't catch it.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
That is Haruko's motivation. It's that sort of crazy urge to attempt the impossible.
I feel like Dylan's
Dylan
about
has
to
something to
something.
say.
No,
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, like, I actually wrote down the quote when Julia Jinyu is looking at Haruko and she's talking to Hidomi and she says, that woman is the same as me. She wants the same thing as me.
Yeah.
And then-
they're talking about their motivation.
And then she says, I was once with someone amazing. With him I could fly around the universe, but suddenly he disappeared. He abandoned me. Turns out, like, this isn't exactly the quote, but, like, turns out I wasn't his equal, but we keep searching for him. We chase something because we know we can't catch it, can't touch it.
Yeah, that is the gist of it, more or less. It's like they both know that, but I guess Jinyu is a bit more logical because she's actively trying to stop Haruko from like fucking shit up.
Right.
So, like, the long and short of it, Haruko fucking runs around, finds groups of teenagers to exploit for their NO energy because they're full of it, because it manifests itself in their fucking teenage horniness.
Yeah.
Is it
And-
testosterone?
Maybe not necessarily exclusively testosterone, because it's
And
girls
estrogen?
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And
Because she's trying to show the kids porn to like activate that part.
Yeah.
Of it.
Right.
yeah.
Okay, dude, I did not get that at all.
was-
And like
and
my
that's
note
why-
is like, what?
That's why
Which one of
Ide, she has a lineup of the kids that are about to watch porn,
Yeah.
but it's Ide's turn in line, and she's like, "Oh, we don't need to do you. I already know that like you're
that
good."
was so funny.
because she was at
knew you
his
were good
house.
for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was
Sure.
at his house the night before.
Yeah. And it's
sucking
probably,
his
yeah, probably.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
It's
Man,
why she
this show
targeted.
is-
It's why she targeted
Spell
him
it out
first.
for me. God damn it.
FLCL.
Coolie, coolie.
a good
What
response.
about that doesn't make sense, Dylan? But yeah, no, it's that's what she does. Is she goes and she fucks with the youngins to bring out their sexual craziness, in order to generate massive amounts of NO energy to trigger and or tempt and or summon her massive bird lover to Earth.
Yes,
Was he revealed as a bird in the first season?
Yes,
I think so,
He is
yes.
Oh, I don't
fully-
remember that at
he
all.
is fully a phoenix.
I don't blame you. It's just a bunch of visual effects at the end there.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just flashing lights and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in the series for altogether like 10 seconds.
Yes.
It's just like the last scene of the show, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's her whole shtick. I
So like,
guess.
does he create Julia to like stop? Does he
I
like
can't-
purposely pull them apart
I can't give you an answer
so that
there.
they stop each other? Yeah,
That's
I
just
don't know.
abstract because like
Yeah, it's
she
just abstract.
finds him and it's like, yeah, I got you, bitch, and then grabs his power, I guess, from him,
Right.
turns into the pink energy form that Naota turned into when he channeled Adamosk at the end of Fooly Cooly 1.
Right.
And then it's too much for her and she splits up into two.
right.
Yeah. And then they wind up on Earth again trying to resummon Adamosk and fuck over Medical Mechanica.
And so that's what's happening, the whole plot. Like,
That's
just
the
her-
general.
she-
That's the long and short of it.
yeah. Haruko is just trying to get the NO energy to find.
Adamosk.
Yeah, which
Yeah,
is the
that's her-
entirety of Fooly Cooly, probably from now until forever. That's what the
Right,
third season
right.
will be
And
about.
so,
It's gonna be more fuckery with more teenagers with more pirate parrot.
okay, so
Ba-da-now.
what was what's up with the? I didn't understand what was happening with Eye Patch and that
Okay.
other guy and the plant.
Do you want
I
to
was
get
like,
into
what's up with this plant?
Okay, so
I
let's
got
go-
that the plant was the thing that the younger sister.
Let's
gave
start
to-
going
or
episode
the
by
daughter
episode, and
Daughter.
we'll clarify everything.
gave. Okay, let's
So-
run
Sure.
through this quick though.
yeah,
Yeah,
real
just
quick.
big points. So,
Episode 1, I have something to start off immediately off the bat.
yes,
Blonde-haired chubby kid is wearing panties under his skirt.
he's got
Yes.
a skirt. He's skirt boy.
Noticed.
Fashionista.
What's a unisex? That's the term.
It's unisex.
You can't name gender in the fashion world.
Unless
Great
you want to
scene.
be put in a nursing home, my dude.
Yeah, good scene. Good scene.
Great scene.
I like it. Funny.
So Hidomi has her first weird dream with her headphones, comes to class, sees and hears Ide going off about fucking the teacher. Jinyu hits Hidomi with her car because she follows her to school, low key, notices her headphones, and is like, this is some Medical Mechanica shit. I'm gonna not let her turn into a portal. Hits her with the car.
I do gotta say it's really cool that Julia drives her car from the backseat.
That's so sick.
Backseat driving.
Yo, and her glasses are fucking sick. Haruko doesn't know shit. Her glasses are lit. Fire.
I'm following you. Yeah.
Fire. So sick. Backed. Would rock any day of the week. Okay, so after
coolie.
that, Coolie, coolie. Okay, so after she hits Hidomi with the car, the Octomech appears and
Right.
attacks Hidomi in her room as she's freaking out because she probably attracts it with her port. So there's two portals at this point. Ide's a portal and Hidomi's a portal, but
Also, if anyone is forgetting, Naota, the main character in the first season,
Yeah.
always has lumps coming out of his forehead because his head is being used as a portal
An
to
NO
summon
portal.
like demons and monsters and shit.
intergalactic items and characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. So both of these characters are that at this point, except Hidomi has headphones that act as an inhibitor. So
Yes.
they prevent were given to her by her dad because her dad who's probably now knows that his daughter is probably prone to the same shit as him. So while they're living in the same town as Medical Mechanica, there's a chance that she's gonna go through the same shit. So probably gave her headphones to be like, listen, put this on your fucking
Listen,
head.
I'm leaving your mother, but here are some headphones.
This will have to do. This is your new dad. Put them on. Shit won't come out of your forehead.
They're Beats by Dre. I really hope she likes these. I spent $500 on them.
Yeah, so she starts to freak out. Also, I guess at this point, it's the Octomech has already come out of Ide's head and is attracted to her, pulls her out of the house. Ide and her meet up, and they're like, what's fucking going on? They dip to a junkyard, and Jinyu fucking saves their ass.
Right.
And then sees that Hidomi is the portal person, realizes that Haruko probably wants her because she is the most potent portal to bring Adamosk to Earth again.
Right.
So, and also we see Haruko in the junkyard just watching from a distance with binoculars.
Yes.
Do you remember?
Yes, I do.
So then Jinyu decides, okay, I'm just going to hang out with Hidomi from now on so that Haruko can't have her way with her. So I'm going to be a maid at your cafe.
Right.
And then we see the ending credits of episode 1, and we get filled in on what happened immediately after the end of FLCL 1.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And
that
when
was-
we finally see Haruko, she's like, the real one is back.
Yeah,
And
right.
you're supposed to be like, oh yeah, that's that character that I love, actually hate because she's annoying as fuck.
Gotta say, I did like how Hidomi's phone was just fucking going crazy before that shit, and people's eyes started going all wonky. And this is before you realize that she's using some brainwashing technique on them. Mm-hmm. And you're just like, why is everyone losing their shit for no reason? Then she's like, whoosh, pulls off her face, it's me.
Right. Also, like,
Right. Yeah. That was
the kid's teacher just, like, telling them that their lives don't matter and they're, like, the center of the earth. That's pretty funny. And then you find out, obviously, it's Haruko.
Yeah,
Makes
because
sense.
who else would
I like
say
figured it out. Like in the first episode, they you can actually see the yellow Vespa is outside the school.
that? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah.
I actually that's one thing I did catch on to. I was like,
Nice.
this teacher is Haruko.
I knew that because that's how they pitched the series. Like, in all the advertisements, they're like, the
okay.
teacher
So
is...
I
yeah.
wasn't familiar with any of that.
Right.
Yeah. So I
wait.
just saw.
Quick question. The main character, when she's walking to school on her first day, why is she like a pink blob, like from Adventure Time?
I thought that was really funny. I don't
Just
know.
because she doesn't care. She's just like a blank.
She's like a
that
ghost.
comes just
She's
like
just like
floating
a-
along.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
literally
that
a
was stupid,
purple
but whatever.
ghost.
I was fine
man.
with it.
I thought it was cute. I was like, this is funny.
No, I didn't think it wasn't funny. I thought it was like stupid, like funny.
Right,
I was like,
yeah.
ah,
I wasn't like against it.
yeah.
So everyone's like, good morning. And she's like, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like that.
Just like...
yeah. Facts. Sean is actually just a purple ghost.
yes.
All right, so...
Call me Hiba-G from now on. God, what an annoying nickname.
yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, it's just her last name, right?
Well,
Isn't it?
her last name is Hibajiri, and they cut off the re, and they just
okay.
call her Hiba-G, and they're like yelling it so much like Kagome
Yeah.
yelling Inuyasha. It's just like, come on, we get it. It's the title of the show.
Oh,
in
man.
Inuyasha, not this.
Not
Yeah.
this. Coolly.
Yeah.
Okay, so next episode. let's
Okay, so
keep
episode
going,
1,
please.
Yeah.
you're clear. Yeah?
I'm pretty sure nothing happens in
We're-
episode 2, so
Well, sort of.
yeah.
Okay, so Haruko's brainwashing the students. Hidomi has another crazy dream. We find out, or Hidomi finds out that Ide works in the slums because he doesn't have money,
Right.
And he builds machines.
Yes.
He gets his ass kicked by Japanese people.
And he has that pebble shooting gun, which is a pretty funny scene.
Yeah, it's great.
Yes.
Yeah, but she sees him getting his ass kicked, overflows because apparently she has feelings for him already.
Right.
And then they wake up in her room, or in Ide's room.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
Ide's
Furikuri.
taking Furikuri, yeah.
And his mom's like Yo, you're such a
Yo, the
slayer.
mom was
Yeah.
so funny.
Yeah.
That was one of
great.
the better parts of the show.
I fucking love that.
She's like, when I was your age, I was quite the little. Cut it off. I
like,
wanted to
listen,
know what she was
Mom.
going to say.
Yeah.
What
You
was
were
the
the
word? What was the word she was going to use?
I need more of that, Mom.
How much do you think Ide hears about how much his mom used to fuck?
I mean, it's probably what's fueling his horniness right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Coolie, coolie?
But anyways,
Fooly, cooly.
but yeah, Haruko shows up. She's got a video camera. She makes fun of him. But then also Jinyu shows up at the same time. Is like, hey, I know you're here to fuck with these kids. I'm not going to let you fuck with these kids. And then we're given the information straight up that they are two parts of the same whole, in case we didn't piece it together from the outro of the last show.
Right.
Yeah, so I didn't, but I actually wrote down they're the same. And like I put it in quotes, and then I put my question mark. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny because when I heard that, I'm like, wow, they're really hitting the nail on the head. aren't
Yeah, it's
they?
like, I get it. I get it.
So,
On with the
I'm an
show.
idiot. I'm an idiot.
It's not that you're an idiot, it's just that you
just
didn't pay
missed it.
attention during the,
Yeah.
the ending.
It's like they were putting credits on top of it. So it's
Yeah.
like you kind of are meant... Well, you're not
Yeah.
meant to,
Dude,
but...
sometimes anime credits are just nothing. They're just like portraits
true.
of like the character. So, how am I supposed to know when things matter and not?
Right.
Things don't matter. That's what Fooly Cooley's about. Nothing interesting ever happens in this city.
Oh, man.
Nothing interesting happens in these credits.
But yeah, they fight. Haruko uses Ide as like on a leash, just as a whip, summons the octopus again.
Right.
Hidomi turns into a little robot because of her NO passage, kicks the shit out of Haruko for a second. And then that's it. At that point, Haruko's like, oh, I know you're the one I've got to fucking, target now.
I
You're my
watched
new
through the
target.
series twice over the last 2 days,
Yeah.
and I still can't tell you anything from the second episode. I know you literally just explained it.
Right.
But
do you
the
remember those
second
scenes? at least?
Very vaguely.
Yeah.
The second episode is the most forgettable.
That's fair. That's fair.
Because the third episode is the beach episode.
Hell yeah,
Third
dude.
episode's the beach episode.
It's
not
like-
a lot happens at the beginning.
Dude, but it's frighteningly important. It seems like nothing's happening, so like you kind of zone out, but they're giving you crucial shit.
Ugh.
Like, you're meeting the girl that gets paid to
See,
be
like
their-
that was funny,
Aiko,
but that didn't
yeah.
like matter, right?
But
Oh no, it
doesn't
did because of the plant apparently, which I'll find out why
in a second.
later.
Yeah.
Well, like, it matters to me in that it's funny, which
It's
is what
hilarious.
I'm,
That
Right?
was
No, I'm
yeah.
just saying. 'cause
I'm so embarrassed.
I'm just trying to get like a good idea of what the arc of the show was. That's what I mean, like in the
Right,
grand scheme
right.
of things.
Because like at that point, they kind of gloss over it, but 3 months pass between episode 2 and episode 3.
Oh, didn't get that.
Yeah.
Right.
Where Jinyu is just being a guardian to Hidomi, but Haruko is like stalking her more or less, trying to
Yeah.
get at her. But she's also her teacher at the same time, and they are at the beach, I guess, because it's a beach day of some kind.
because
amongst-
it's not a beach field trip, or else
No.
other students would be there.
Yeah, it's just the main cast of the show who are like, well, we're going to the beach today. Also, there's a ceasefire. And they decide to have a ceasefire because they kind of... That's when they sort of vent. Oh, they're like, oh, what are our motivations? You're chasing this thing you can't get. Oh, I know why you're doing that because I'm you,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
Have you ever tried to draw fireworks?
Yeah, dude.
Blah, blah, blah. You have to fill in the night sky.
That,
Meaningful dialogue.
That
Dylan, do you
whole
remember what this is? Not at all.
I do not.
But yeah, that's the point. That is the point when Haruko kidnaps Hidomi,
Yes.
fucks up the ceasefire because she's a tricky motherfucker like that. Tries to make her overflow in her nurse outfit, but because Ide is a horny bastard and sees her all tied up and whatever, he overflows instead, and a big green glob comes out of his fucking forehead.
right.
And Haruko fights it, and during the fight, Hidomi kisses his chest by accident, and then that's enough to set her off.
That's a callback to episode 1 of season 1, where the two main characters kiss. Not two main characters, but Naota kisses whatever female is around,
Mamimi?
Mimi.
and it does like a 360 spin in 3D.
Oh, it's because Haruko runs her bike into them or something.
Smashes
yes,
them.
and they like
Crash
smashes
together?
their heads together or
Something
something.
like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a callback to that because it does another 360 spin, except this time she kisses his chest.
Yeah, and then she turns into a junk pile. just turns into a cloud of garbage. That's probably from
Like my
her
ex-girlfriend.
dream.
Got it.
Burn. But yeah, we kind of see that in the dream at the beginning of the episode where it's like she's like on a junk pile and she's like in her excited voice like, "Oh, we're all eating each other, blah blah blah."
Hey.
Yeah, hey. But yeah, they free her. Like Jinyu and Ide work together to free Hidomi from the junk pile, but her car gets fucked up. Jinyu's car gets fucked up, so she flies away, and Haruko manages to sort of coax Ide into trying to pull her headphones off, but because of that, it goes into lockdown mode, and then Hidomi's trapped inside her crazy side, I guess.
Right, and she becomes happy all the time.
Right.
Truly crazy.
And then Jinyu and Haruko have to sort of meet on a level playing field, be like, listen, none of us get what we want if Hidomi is in Crazy Town, so let's go attack Medical Mechanica, because that's what's controlling these headphones.
We need to get those headphones off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Following so far,
And
Dillman?
Yes.
Ide wants to do that because the love of his life apparently is now happy all the time.
Crazy Pants.
Right, yes.
And he's
Yeah,
like,
got
I need
all
her to be
that.
herself.
I like Happy Hidomi. I think she's interesting.
Yeah.
At least more interesting than Bummer Hidomi.
Right.
I don't
But,
know.
like, you're not supposed to like Happy Hidomi, aren't? Like, I watched that and I was like, laying it on a little thick, aren't you? Like,
Right. Okay.
she was crazed. Anyway, go on.
So here's where we shed light on what stumped you the most.
So this is great because I actually have notes from episodes 1, 2, and 3, and I recall everything you're saying.
Yeah.
And you guys are filling in some gaps, and that helps.
Yeah. Before
Episode 4, I have 2 notes. The first one is WTF,
nice.
and the second one is the gray-haired lady got killed by Haruko? Like, what? And then my first note for episode 5 is I took almost no notes for the last episode because I can't make sense of this show.
Okay, like honestly though, like this wasn't easy by any stretch of the imagination. Like it's not easy
Yeah.
to follow. I did watch the show twice.
Right.
And like even then it's like racking my brain, checking the wiki, and I'm like, okay, I guess.
Right. I didn't care that much to try and piece it together.
Dude.
Yeah.
I mean, like when it comes to shit like this with me, I'm fixed on making it make sense in my head somehow.
Right.
Like Ava, Fooly Cooley, it's why I love them.
Right.
But
Right.
anyways, episode 4, this is where shit comes to light. Hidomi's crazy pants. Jinyu comes up with the plan to attack Medical Mechanica. And then it's revealed that Eye Patch and Masurao, who is... That's his name, right? Masurao. Who's the son of Amurao. Both of those guys are working for, I guess, the quote-unquote immigrations department.
Right.
Who are in charge of, like, keeping Medical Mechanica the fuck off the planet, more or less.
Which is the same company that the Eyebrow Man was working for in season 1.
Right.
Yeah,
yeah.
and the Sniper Girl and all of them. So...
Right, the one, the sniper girl whose name just translates to brown skin or whatever.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's
yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're on that side of this whole thing, and they found Conti.
Yeah.
Because at
I was
the
like,
end,
oh,
we're like,
he's in this.
where the fuck did Conti go at the end of Fooly Cooley? I don't
Conti's
know.
back, bro.
He's back, and he's literally crucified.
Yeah. Didn't that happen in the first show?
I
Like, didn't
think-
he end up like that somehow?
I think.
Just
I
that,
can't really
like, I saw him
remember, but-
crucified and it didn't shock me at all, so I figured I'd seen
Right.
it before.
I feel like I saw fan art of it, or like something
Yeah.
like of someone like drawing him like in that
Yeah.
state, and I was like, oh,
Who
I've
knows?
seen
Maybe it was a promotional image for the show. I
Could
don't
be.
know.
But anyways, they've been tinkering with the remains of Conti to make a houseplant that acts as a reverse NO. This is where it probably didn't execute it super well or
Oh
clear
my
enough.
god, I didn't get that at all, dude. I literally had no clue.
You just at this
I was
point
like-
was just like, fuck it.
Yeah, I was just like, the houseplant's important. I got that, and I
mean-
got that they were like, yeah,
Yeah,
they're just
Dylan,
doing
I think
something
the
to-
main reason why I somewhat disliked this season is because it reminded me of the process of reading a book, which I hate doing. It's like you're reading and things are going by, but if you're not mentally there 100%,
you're gone.
You don't know what
bro.
the fuck just happened. You need
Right.
to rewind a page.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just like couldn't keep me interested, dude. That's the
Yeah.
problem. Yeah.
I mean, like, the reason it was a houseplant was because Furikuri.
Honestly, Dylan, I didn't rewatch the show twice in the last 2 days because I loved it so much. I rewatched it to know what was happening.
I mean, I did too,
That's
but
why.
it was also out of love.
Right, yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted to know because I wanted to love.
Yeah.
And I think I do. But anyways, it is a reverse NO. So, like,
Brendan is chasing the thing he can't touch.
dude, yeah,
He's like, I want to
honestly,
understand you.
I'm Haruko. It's why I relate. I'm chasing the
I'm
impossible. dude.
Julia.
Just sit the fuck down. Stop this. But yeah, this is where it gets like ridiculous, more or less. It's like, so they go to the plant to try to break in, to try to get Hidomi back to normal, and then they have the plant with them just by chance, and then it smashes into Ide's face, which makes his head a reverse portal, which sucks Haruko and Jinyu into Medical Mechanica. So they make it in through his head. Did you get that?
Okay, no.
I didn't get that, but
go on.
okay. Yeah, go
Okay.
on.
So
It's funny. I know we're both saying go on so that we don't have to dwell in any more.
it's like, I don't want to think
Yeah,
about it.
I don't want it to be explained to me.
Do you not?
No, I don't want
just keep
that
going.
part to be explained.
Oh,
so that we can move on to the next
we
part.
just want
Yeah,
the
yeah.
next part.
So when they wind up inside there, then they have a little bit of a heart-to-heart argument where they're like, you know what you're doing is fucking stupid, and you're never going to be able to get a hold of Adamosk. And then they start fighting with one another.
Oh yeah, they're fighting within the whole like plant or whatever.
Yeah. But while they fight inside the plant, they destroy it enough that...
Okay, when you say you guys keep saying plant and you're
Right.
meaning
That's true. You
the
said two
potted
different
plant,
plants, yeah.
and you mean like a plant, like a building, right?
building. I'm talking
Okay.
about the building at this point.
Okay,
I'm just going to say
because
the
this show's
iron.
weird enough that they could have been
Right.
fighting within a
Yes,
potted plant.
yeah, that's
anyway,
true.
go on.
Yeah, so they destroy the iron, or they fuck up the insides enough that the headphones come off of Hidomi, and she goes back to normal.
How did they? What? Didn't you just say they were fighting in the plant building?
Yeah.
Yes.
What does that have to do with the headphone?
But the plant like controls how tightly the headphones are held onto her head.
Okay.
Yeah.
The headphones are attached to the iron. The iron is sending signals that block
Okay,
out
gotcha.
the NO signals because, yeah, they don't want Adamosk to show up. And if he does show up, they just want to capture him. That's all they want.
Okay.
If I just heard that sentence out of context, I think that I was watching Twin Peaks. The headphones are attached to the iron. What? David Lynch?
Say it backwards now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they continue their fight outside because they come out of this dude's fucking forehead again, and they continue their fight outside. But in the process of saving both Hidomi and Ide, Jinyu gets fucked. She gets fucking smashed through the middle, and then reabsorbed into Haruko, and that's when her hair goes pink again. She's Haruko again.
Right. It's like when evil Boo eats good Boo.
That's exactly it.
Right,
Yeah.
right. She's a full being now.
Yeah, she's perfect cell.
Yeah, we're talking about
Yes.
Dragon Ball Z for anyone that doesn't know, but that would be impossible.
You
I think.
know.
If you're listening to this, you probably know what Dragon Ball Z is.
It would be impossible.
Right.
I don't know what that's a reference to, but I like
It's
it.
not a
Oh,
reference to
okay.
anything.
And like, and for no reason, their friend Marco gets swept up into it. Like he smashes heads with Hidomi at the beginning of the episode when she's all crazy. So his head becomes an NO portal too. And while he's being used as a tester for this fucking ride or whatever,
The Viking roller coaster thingy.
yeah, the boat.
Great, yeah. Which is a very interesting ride to choose.
Yeah.
Because when I was younger and all my friends and I would like ride the Viking roller coaster thingy,
Yeah.
the thing that everybody joked about with that ride is that when it's going up to the top of either end, you feel this like gravitational force in your balls.
Yeah, it's gross.
And that's what every like young teenage boy laughs about when they go on that ride. They're like, haha, did you feel the feeling in your balls? And I'm like, is this show like getting in on this in-joke and like
do they know?
in like from Toronto, Canada, of like feeling the gravitational force in your balls? And they're trying to channel the heat in this Spanish boys' balls in the show. Like, what is happening here?
Yeah, man.
Coolly.
A Viking boat ride's a Viking boat ride wherever you go.
Yeah, I guess so. Anywhere on Earth.
You're
But they flip it upside down, and then his head's going by the motors. That was really cool. I don't know why.
Fucking jokes.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole fight is like super cool. But for some reason, he summons a bamboo monster thing, and it gets in the way, and it gets fucked up, and that's just the end of it.
Right.
There's nothing around that besides just fucking action.
Right.
But at the very end of all of this shit, like Hidomi sees what Haruko's like goal is really. Like, she's not just a teacher, she's not just making a mess for no reason. She understands that she's chasing Adamosk, and like she doesn't want to help her.
Right.
And that's the end of episode 4 at that point.
And now episode 5 is my favorite episode because they changed the art style.
Oh,
It's just all sketched and
so
cool.
good.
So episode 5, it starts with the dream, and I think the dream more looks like an oil painting.
Yeah, it's all painted.
yeah.
Like chalk.
Yeah.
So I actually wrote, my first note was episode starts with her dream again. This time it's an oil painting or something. And then my next note is, wait, am I tripping, or is this animation different for like when the actual part of the episode started?
Yeah.
And then I said, no, it's different. Like rougher sketch drawing, less precise lines.
Yeah, it's all very like hand drawn.
Which I personally liked better.
Same.
It's just
I thought
like
it was
my
Yeah, it
style
looked
more.
cool. It
Yeah.
looked cool.
And at the end, like when the credits rolled, it didn't say like where the production IG logo was in every other episode. It was like a different studio. I can't remember the name.
Oh,
but,
interesting. I
yeah.
didn't notice.
So maybe they handed off that one episode just because they're like, we need to throw some art shit in there just because season 1 had some crazy art shit going
Yeah.
on. So we can't.
Also,
not, yeah.
episode 5 is the only episode with a manga section again, except it's not like the first series. This manga
Yeah.
section is really slow.
It's very emotional.
and emotional. It's when you find out that the mom wants to shut down the cafe.
Right.
That is the other contender for best part of the show for me.
Right.
That manga sequence was like beautiful.
You dug
Yeah.
it?
Very, very cool. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I
Nice.
think it was cool.
Me too. So did that sell you on Hidomi's relationship with her mom?
Yes, a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
it did. But because like Fooly Cooley's a 6-episode show, but when I'm on episode 5, I don't feel like I'm on episode 5. I feel like I'm on episode 45. You know?
Whoa.
Yeah, true.
Fair.
True.
You know, like
'Cause
it
there is
feels
so
like
much
there's
going
so
on, yeah.
much, and I feel like I don't know. I should have seen this earlier, or not like
Yeah.
this conversation, but something that tells me
Right. Yeah.
this matters.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
like,
because
I
we
liked
barely
what
see
it-
her mom before.
Yeah,
this.
like I liked
exactly.
what it was, and I still like felt it, but it didn't really. It felt like it was too late.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
agree completely.
Yeah.
I feel like I wasn't sold on their relationship, and it's why it feels so hollow compared to the relationships in season 1.
Yeah.
It's like because we had time to live with those a bit.
Because yeah, you get to see Naota's dad try and fuck his girl, and you're like, ugh, like back off, dude.
Yeah.
This is so
Yeah.
gross. This whole situation is so incestual, and then, like
The whole time, yeah.
I don't want to like come off as weird, but like the sexual vibe of the entire show is so off-putting and weird. Like it got in my head and made me think about the show. Like after it was over, like that was some weird ass shit. Whoever wrote the show was somewhat twisted.
You were talking about season 1, right?
Yeah, season
Yeah,
1.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
season
It
1.
was uncomfortable.
But season 2 is like, oh, what if we put a magical girl being their housemate again? Isn't that cool?
Right.
But we never see her inside the house besides that one time
One
she snaps
scene.
a plate in half.
Snapping plates,
And
yeah.
the mom is a really nice character in contrast to that and the dad in the first season. But
Right, because
we
he's
never
kind of
see
like
her.
a punk. He has a
Yeah.
zine. He like is like an anti-authority. Like he's like
Yeah.
kind of crazy. It's great.
The only reason why the mom exists in the show is to wait for the dad.
Yeah, right.
it.
And it's like kind of the heartstring that they tug at, but it doesn't hit nearly as hard because you don't spend any time with her.
Yeah.
She's just like a quirky character at the beginning that points a knife at her daughter and is like, say good morning.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I wasn't really about that either. But yeah, so episode starts off with the dream sequence. Then Haruko's like suddenly pregnant for no reason.
Yo,
They don't
what the fuck was
explain that. I have no idea what's going on there. But she explains to her class that she's getting married to like the man of her dreams, makes up a story.
Right.
And she's like, listen, all y'all go to the amusement park. Just fuck class. And then
Yeah.
they leave. Except for Hitomi and Ide. And then Ide has a showdown with Haruko and is like, listen, can you like stop dragging Hidomi into your fucking scheme, whatever it is? And she's like, well, why don't you make me? And then they like fight. And then he gets his ass kicked. And then when Hidomi shows up, she's like on him in like a very suggestive position. And then that causes her to overflow. It's like the slightest sexual anything makes everyone in the show overflow. And that's what happens. Hidomi overflows, more or less consumes Ide, and his body turns into like a husk with like two little earbuds to communicate with. Right. And Haruko's like, well, anyways, I'm gonna go. Bye. And then she just leaves. And that's when she remembers, like, she's just like holding like his shell, I guess. And then she remembers her mom's closing the cafe and like has like a weird emotional moment. And then it like cuts to like what's going on at the amusement park is like all of the students are there in pairs or whatever. And then we realize that the immigration team people are like using them as like a source of NO energy because their plot is to fight back against Medical Mechanica using a giant dodo mech.
Right. I didn't really get any of that, but now I'm getting it like now that you're saying it.
Right. Yeah. And then also after Hitomi like puts water on his like weird shell corpse or whatever, it like floats up into space. Oh, and at this point, I don't know if it happened in this episode earlier or like an earlier episode, but the like eye patch and red hair man, I said his name, but I forgot it already.
Yeah.
They take Kanti's body to their people. Like they send it up to the satellite with the lost and found.
Right.
So that's where Ide's body gets consumed by the puppy form of Kanti.
Right.
Because Kanti's up and kicking again somehow.
Yeah, I forget how.
And he's just a puppy, and then he eats Ide.
You know what's really cool?
Yeah.
When the eyebrow man and the red-haired guy are both like having a secret meeting inside the room.
Oh,
but then
so
the
funny.
red-haired guy's daughter comes home. And she knocks on the door and like opens it, and then like the walls shoot back down. And they pretend
they're
like
boxing.
Like, yeah, they're like,
Yeah, that was funny.
Dad, what are you doing? He's like, oh, look at your hands. You could be a real superstar.
I love that. How Eye Patch is just grabbing people's fists and is like, look at these things. You could be a real superstar. It's like, what are you talking about?
He says you could be a pro.
Yeah, you could be a pro. And Marco's like, a pro at what?
Yeah, I don't know.
And then he puts him on a fucking roller coaster. Or I don't even know how that happens.
Right.
But, yeah.
Yeah, I actually laughed at that. That was really, really funny.
All right,
so the mech attacks Medical Mechanica.
Yeah.
The humans versus MM once again.
Right.
And then MM fires back and fucks their shit right up. And then Hidomi comes and confronts Haruko, and she's like half metal at this point because of her NO channel freaking out. And she's like, she just wants Ide back, I guess. And like that much craziness is enough to re-summon Atomisk to Earth, and Atomisk shows up. And that's the end of episode 5. Yeah.
Right.
So does Atomisk just like not have a choice about where he goes?
Oh, I'm sure he does. Like
what do you mean it like summons
He's
him
being
to-
like contained, right?
So it's kind of muddy. It's a little murky, at least from my understanding. I at first I was under the impression that he was being held prisoner by Medical Mechanica inside the iron. And I was like, oh, they're summoning these machines to fight off Haruko because they know she's trying to release him from inside the iron. But I don't think that's actually the case. I think he's just fucking off doing whatever the hell he wants because he is a pirate parrot.
Oh.
But he is attracted to like large amounts of power, I guess because he's powerful and is looking for something that can keep up with him. When it comes to what Atomisk wants, I don't fucking know, but I'm just assuming because he is a powerful being and can absorb like entire solar systems and shit, according to the lore of season 1.
Right.
That maybe. Yeah, I'm sorry, Dylan. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
No, it's not you. It's just like I don't know what to.
Yeah, the more I learn about the show without us talking about the comedic moments, the more I hate it. And I don't want to use the word hate lately. So maybe strong dislike.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just frustrated.
it's
So
not clear.
Let's finish episode 6. So tell me
Yeah.
what happened in episode 6.
Well, it gets crazier and crazier. The fucking the iron tries to catch Adamus when he shows up by shooting out giant balls of mochi, which is just like a Japanese dessert that's sticky,
Right.
made of rice. It's what the globules of whatever was that was coming down on people.
Right.
Haruko and Hidomi get sucked up into Adamusk, even though Haruko's just trying to capture him with like a giant bird cage that she manifests out of nowhere. But yeah, so they get sucked up into him, and then they have that whole moment with Hidomi and her mom using Aiko as like a radio channel. Because
Oh yeah, they like
he's
communicate
the plant.
via radio through like the little girl's body in Kanti or whatever.
Right.
That was that was like a nice moment though. They were like, "Hey, let's run the cafe together. Oh, let's not
Yeah.
leave. Let's keep waiting for Dad, I guess."
Yeah.
I don't know.
They iron
Guys
it
off
out.
in Vegas just partying.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Naota like stopping
just-
some other fucking iron in some other city. That's what
Yeah.
I want to believe.
Right. But then shit hits the fan inside Adamusk, and more crazy mechs start appearing. And then Kanti, who is also Ide at this point, because he ate him, snaps into action. Haruko gets her old Rickenbacker back that was in possession of Naota at the end of the first season.
Right. And she like calls it to her like Thor's axe.
Yeah, like fucking
She
God
just
of War.
summons it. Yeah.
Hits triangle, just
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
zips back into her hand.
It is pretty cool.
And then Conti breaks the headphones off of Hidomi, and she goes full LCD Conti and isn't like a big fucking CRT television on her head. It's like she's all cool and slick and
Yeah.
mech form. And they get out of Adamusk. And then at that point, oh yeah, and Aiko, I guess, stops Medical Mechanica with the plant powers. I don't know. She just turns into a fucking plant and just covers the iron, and then that's that. And then the very end, which I actually thought was like a convincing ending, is that Ide and Adamusk are inside Conti, and Haruko and Hidomi fight over the person they love, which is all contained within the same vessel.
And they both kiss him.
Yes, which was very silly, and I thought it was kind of funny.
Kanti barfs up Ide,
Yes,
and Haruko barfs up.
Adamus, because she
Adamus.
tries to contain him again, and
Yeah.
she gets her
Right.
stomach gets all crazy, and then pop.
And then he flies off into the sky, and she's hugging Julia.
Yeah, because
Julia's
she comes back and she's like,
back.
"Listen, you're a fucking idiot, remember?" And she's like, "I know, I'm a fucking
Yeah.
idiot, but this is all I could do." So,
Julia's consoling him, or her, like, "You can never have him. Just let him go." Blah, blah, blah.
and then yeah, she flies off into the sunset, and then Hidomi realizes that her life, she doesn't know what the fuck she wants, but that's okay, and that's the end of the series.
Okay, one of the characters says, I wish I'd written it down, but it's, what was the reason for doing all of this? And that sums up how I felt watching Fooly Cooley.
Yeah.
Do you
But
remember?
it made
the
me
answer?
like the show. No, I don't think there was an answer.
Right.
But it made me like the show more because it was saying exactly how I felt. My notes for episode 6, I have 2 notes.
Yeah.
The first one is 4 question marks. The second one is the quote that I just read.
Yeah. To me, they saved the ending a little bit by announcing that the red-haired guy is the son of the Eyebrow Man from
Yeah.
the first season.
I really
I was
love
like,
that.
Yeah, that's pretty
Nice,
funny.
yeah.
I wish I caught that. I remember the scene, but I didn't even make the connection.
Right.
Yeah, and they build the cafe again in the rubble, and it's kind of like, oh, like
Yeah.
things are going back to normal, sort of. And also, this is confirmed like a generation down from the first
Yeah, it's
season.
been a long time. It's probably been like 40 years.
Yeah,
because there's-
because
yeah.
he's an adult,
Yes, and he has a child.
Yeah.
The red-haired Eyebrow Man is who I'm talking about.
right?
God, we need to never discuss the plot of the show ever again. This is so fucking
Yeah, it's like I said, like, oh, let's run through it quick. I think that took us like
30 minutes.
30
Yeah,
minutes
that was
to
a
run
while.
through it.
That was a
and
while.
I mean, Brennan, you're a pro Like, I couldn't have done
I
that.
had to.
No, I'm saying I really appreciate you explaining it to me on air. I hope whoever's listening, I hope that you're not, or maybe that helped you too. I hope I'm not the only dummy in the world.
Right.
I hope
No,
everyone
you
else
can't,
were confused.
because I was confused.
Yeah,
I
but you
had
made
to
sense of it.
hammer
I
this
made
into
zero
making
sense of it, dude.
Right.
I could have watched this over and I wouldn't have got it.
The thing is, when I rewatched Fooly Cooly season 1, things started to make sense. You know, started to make sense. Season 2 did not. Not really.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't recommend this to anyone. It makes me not excited for Fooly Cooly Alternative in September.
I am. If the word is truly alternative, I want the alternative to this.
Yeah, I would agree. At this point,
yeah, maybe.
like at this point, they can't.
But was this progressive though?
I don't know, progressing in the wrong direction.
Jerry Seinfeld over here.
I don't think they can get away with doing this a third time. I think the second time was cute enough that I'm gonna be like, yeah, I had fun. I liked it. I like that the story continued, even though it's the most convoluted, ridiculous, backwards, fucked up story. I did enjoy it.
What I'm hoping is that progressive, which is season 2 of Fooly Cooly,
Yeah.
is like the beginning of the second season of Durarara, where they're just like new character, new character, new character, new character, no payoffs to anything, so that in the second and third parts of this second season of Durarara, they rein it all in. They're like, this is why we introduced all this stuff, this is what this character means, and this is an ending with some sort of payoff.
Is it going to be?
Yeah,
more-
maybe. I mean, I quit during the first part of Durarara.
Yeah, so you didn't get to see... You
I
only
didn't get to see the
You didn't get
payoff.
the
Yeah.
payoff, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was a
This sucks.
slog, dude.
Yeah,
It was a
I'm not
slog.
saying that it was a great payoff. I'm just saying it paid off a little bit. Anyways, Fooly Cooly alternative, new main character, female. I should say that, like, in 2018, on April Fool's Day,
Did you watch the episode?
no, they played the first episode of season 3 before the
Right.
first episode of season 2 had even come out.
Yeah, right.
Which is kind of amazing.
Fucking
All of this has been
great.
done, like, so far in advance that they're just like, fuck it, play them the first episode of season 3.
Yeah, could you imagine any other show, like, doing that?
No.
Like, imagine if, like, season 1 of Lost came out,
Yeah.
and then they just showed season 3.
And-
also, that would have been, like, people would have been like, what did the show become?
What's
But-
even weirder is that the episode of alternative that they showed, I'm pretty sure was in Japanese, but I'm pretty sure they're not going to air the Japanese version
Oh,
until
my-
much after the English version.
yeah, dude.
Which
I
is
was
crazy. It's like everything's mixed matched.
That's a brilliant April
Yes.
Fool's Day
Yes, it is.
joke to pull.
Cheers to you. I really hope season 3 is good, and I hope that it pulls it all together. Just give me a reason to have to sit through season 2. I want Naota back. I want some callbacks to the original. I want Eyebrow Man to appear and, like, pull his son by the ear and be like, what the fuck are you doing?
as an old man.
Yeah.
What if Eyebrow Man is he's not. But like what if? What if
that'd be
one of the old men we saw in the show was actually just
Interesting.
Eyebrow Guy?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be disappointing now because, like, we've seen them already, and
Yeah.
yeah.
I wouldn't watch the show of my own volition. Sorry, season 3 of my own
Yeah.
volition. Like, if you guys watched it and told me it was good,
Yeah.
I'd watch it. But because we have a podcast, regardless of if it's good or bad, I will be watching it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I think, like, I have to watch it. Like, I have to. By virtue of loving season 1 so much, I owe it to season 3 to at least
Yes.
know what happens.
Me too,
But
for sure.
I honestly, in my heart of hearts, don't think it's going to be anything special at all. In fact, it's going to be significantly worse than season 2.
So remember my sentence where I said that progressive was like the Force Awakens of Star Wars?
Yes.
It's because it just rehashed everything from the original Fooly Cooly. I'm hoping that season 3 is like the Last Jedi of Star Wars, where it
Right.
brings in a lot of new shit and like some new weird humor
Yeah.
and changes things a little bit to make it at least more interesting.
Nice.
Maybe not to like overtake the first season at all, but just be different.
Did
Like,
you
I
like
want it to be
Last Jedi?
different.
Because a lot of people whined about it, and I thought they were
I like The
silly.
Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I watched it too, actually.
I didn't like
He's not saying if he liked it or not.
love everything about The Last Jedi, but I really respected what they were doing.
Yeah.
What they're trying to do.
Yeah, same.
And I think people were way too whiny about it.
Right.
Like those stupid petitions and stuff.
Oh,
Relax.
oh god,
Relax.
that was
Also,
dumb,
I'm not a
man.
huge fan of Star Wars to begin with, so The Force Awakens, even though I'm kind of shitting on it right now, liked it. Walked out of the theater
Right.
liking it a lot.
Yeah,
That
I
was a
was
fun
satisfied
movie,
too.
Yeah, I was totally satisfied.
See, that's how I felt about this. It's not the original by any stretch, but I
Right.
felt great walking away.
Right.
But I don't think there's gonna, like, unless they... Okay, here's the ideal situation, is if Progressive was really just like a tip of the hat to all the loyal fans who've been waiting so long,
Right.
who've accumulated over 18 years and are so excited. They're like, here's some more Fooly Cooly that you know, that you love, that you came for. Here it is. Mm-hmm. And then alternative is where the true artistic vision happens, and they push it somewhere completely unheard of.
Cool.
I'm following with what you're saying, and
Yeah.
that sounds good.
Yeah.
It's almost like how Weezer, my favorite band, came back with an album called Everything Will Be Alright in the End in 2014, where they just tried to appease their fans by sounding like they did in the 90s when everybody loved them.
Right.
And then in 2016, they came back with their White Album. They're like, hey, we sound different and we're still awesome.
And it's good.
Although,
Yeah.
for Fooly Cooly, I think that's a grossly bad decision because you don't just want to give people more of the same and then change it up. All of Fooly Cooly exists on the basis of changing it up from the
Right.
get-go.
It's true.
If you were going to give me more of the same, that should have been the first 60 seconds.
Right.
Then after that, you should have been balls to the wall crazy.
That's true.
Although,
That's fair.
yeah.
Fooly Cooly should be like Radiohead.
Yeah.
It's like every album,
Yeah.
something different.
Fooly Cooly season 2 should have been live action. I don't know. Just give me the last thing I'm expecting.
It's just the ending sequence on repeat from the first season.
You actually never see characters because they don't want to cast anybody. It's just like a Vespa going around the
just
whole
in
city.
stop motion.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Give me a 60-hour
Give me
version
the
of-
alternative.
Yeah.
Right on
Also,
Shooting Star.
Julia's blue car is like a mech and it has arms and legs and
Yeah,
kills
yeah.
people and shit.
It turns into a robot.
Anyways, I'm going to do a quick rundown of the voice actors in the show.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, in English, because we all had to watch it in English, didn't we?
Oh, God. Yeah.
Okay. We talked about this last time, but Haruko Haruhara, that's her name, right?
It
Is
is
voiced by...
also Rahura or whatever the fuck her
Yeah.
actual name is. Yeah.
she's voiced by the same person who voices Celty. I know I said that last time, but it's
Yeah.
good to hear. Because Celty is such a grounded, cool female voice, but she's so annoying in the show.
Right. She kind of starts like that as the teacher, though. When
Oh,
she's
yeah.
like kind of
Yeah, yeah.
muted. You kind of hear the
That's
Celty
true.
in that.
That's
Yeah.
true. Hidomi, the main character in this show, is Haru Okumura from Persona 5. So one of the main
Oh, she's
cast members.
Oh, that
Yeah,
makes sense. She's
the
kind of
shy one.
subdued and
Yeah.
yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, probably the worst character in Persona 5, but whatever.
Yeah, who gives a shit about her?
Ide in this show is a lot of characters, guys. He's Prompto in Final Fantasy 15.
Of course.
He's Joe in Digimon Adventure Tri, which is perfect if you think about it. They look exactly the same. Joe and Digimon.
Right, yeah, totally.
And Ide. He's Tuxedo Mask in the new Sailor Moon. Don't get your hopes up, not the old Sailor Moon.
right.
And he's Goro Akechi in Persona 5. One of the coolest characters.
That
actually.
guy's Prompto and Goro or this Akechi are the same person?
No spoilers, we're going to be doing a podcast on the Persona 5 anime
When it finishes.
Whenever it finishes or the season finishes, whatever.
Yeah, so start watching that if you haven't.
Who is this? The main character's mother, Hidomi's mother, is guys, just guess. She's a character in One Punch Man. Guess who she is?
Oh my
Split
God.
chinned kid.
What?
A ball face.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Good
in the-
old ball
yeah.
face.
so
man.
good.
I
One of
haven't
the
thought
best
about
characters.
ball face since our first episode.
Yeah, one of the best characters. That's one of the first things
amazing.
we ever talked about in this podcast, Shonen Jumps. Yeah.
it's ball face.
Because our first episode was about One Punch Man, if you're wondering,
Yeah.
people at home. Okay, Marco, you know the little Spanish kid or whatever? I don't know what he is, actually. Sorry. They mentioned that
I
once,
think he's
yeah.
like
they
Latino.
mentioned
Yeah,
he has
Latino, right,
blood.
Latino, yeah. He's voiced by Yuri Lowenthal.
Sounds
which is
familiar.
One of the goats of the anime industry.
Right.
Like, greatest of all time. He voices Ben in Ben 10, Sasuke in Naruto, the Prince in Prince of Persia. Guys,
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's the last
Only
one.
one out of three of those
the
are anime.
protagonist, I know, yeah. Well, right, also video games. The protagonist in Persona 3,
Oh.
Yosuke in Persona 4, one of the great
Yeah.
characters of that game. Marth in Fire Emblem.
Oh.
And get this, September, I'm going to be dying to this. Spider-Man in Marvel's Spider-Man on PS4.
Ooh.
I'm so fucking down, dude.
He's Peter Parker?
Yuri's a fucking goat. Yes, he's Peter Parker.
That's crazy. Dude, I'm still fucking shook about this whole Akechi Prompto business,
Yeah,
man.
it's great,
What the
right?
fuck?
Yeah.
It makes so much sense.
Yes, it does.
Oh my god.
Masaru is voiced by the guy who voiced Sonic in Sonic X and Shadow the Hedgehog in the infamously bad Shadow the Hedgehog game.
Oh my god. Chili dogs!
All right, Aiko. Who's Aiko in the show again? Oh, sorry, Aiko. Right, yeah. I'm looking at the spelling and it's throwing me off.
Right, yeah.
She's a Shiho in Persona 5, the girl at the beginning who might have maybe jumps off something.
Thing.
All right, and the final one, who matters the least. Why did I leave this to now? Tonkichi is
he the old man?
Fulikuli, yeah, one of the old men.
Yeah.
Is Naota's grandfather in the original Fulikuli.
Oh.
If that matters at all.
Okay, I didn't watch the dub.
Two old men we all barely remember.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
really funny.
Speaking of like old characters we barely remember that make an appearance, Mew Mew, the cat, shows up again.
Oh,
The one that
I don't know what that is.
the old blue cat that we see the balls of swinging in the first season.
Yeah, I remember that.
He makes an appearance again when
Shouldn't
Hidomi.
that cat be dead?
Well,
Yeah.
it's also used by Haruko as a transmitter to God knows where. So he's an immortal cat with
Right.
balls of steel.
Right.
And Hidomi barks at him like a dog. If you remember this, it's when she's.
I
crazy
think
again.
I think I remember this vaguely.
But yeah,
So I enjoyed the show, but to some extent it pissed me off a little bit.
right.
But I'm excited for season 3, just praying that it'll be good. So I'm not truly excited, but I'm just praying, guys. Pray with me.
I mean,
What are your closing thoughts on this?
I said it already. I just didn't like it, didn't get it. I wanted to, but I didn't. It made me appreciate season 1 a little more. Even just
Yeah.
talking about season 2 with you guys right now made me appreciate season 1
Fair.
even more. But I can't even be excited for Fully Alternative like at all. I wouldn't watch it if we didn't have a podcast.
Right. Dylan
Even-
is drained.
even
I'm
just
drained.
for the
I'm truly drained.
Dylan's, yeah. Even like for the visual spectacle of it, like, would you be stoked for that at least? Like the superficial element.
There are shows that look better.
Yeah, honestly,
Fair.
we should have talked about this more. But
Production
the
IG. doing-
Fully Coolly Progressive
Yeah.
wasn't impressive.
Right.
To look at.
It was
Sorry.
just very
Yeah.
clean. It just felt like very new and clean and spotless. They did kind of try to bring in the aesthetic of the original with the sort of faded backgrounds and like,
Yeah, a little bit.
like in the schools and stuff
And
like
they
that.
got the character artist back from
Yeah.
Evangelion and all that stuff.
right.
He's back.
But their style of drawing the characters and just like it just generally this is why I was stoked on episode 4 because it just felt a little more rough around the edges.
5. Episode
Or
5.
yeah, whatever. Whichever one it changed in.
Yeah.
I like that a lot more than how pristine it was.
Do you have closing thoughts?
Yeah. I did enjoy this. I had a lot of fun. Loved the soundtrack, loved the visuals. I did like the story, even though it took some fucking work.
Right.
I did have a good time watching this, but I can't, with good conscience, say that this can go anywhere interesting from here unless they pull something crazy, like truly fooly cooly.
Right. As far as this is going so far, I'd say that I would recommend season 1 of Fooly Cooly to anybody. I'd be like, you want to see some weird shit? Go watch season 1. But the way that I would phrase that is to not even allude to there being a season 2.
Right.
Because
Or a story. Just-
nobody likes to hear, like, oh, go watch the show, but stop after season 1 because it gets shitty. That just makes you inherently think that the whole show is shitty.
Right.
So I'd just be like, hey, it's
like,
only 6 episodes, watch it.
Hey, want to get
yeah.
fucked up for cheap? Check this out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we've been the Shonen Chumps.
We still are the Shonen Chumps.
We will always be the Shonen Chumps?
Of course we will, Dylan. If you want to talk to us, you can email us at shonenchumps@gmail.com. You can tweet at us at shonenchumps. You can listen to us on YouTube or SoundCloud, Apple iTunes Podcasts, or the Google Play Podcasts or whatever. We love to hear from you.
Yeah, those of you who have been talking to us, we love you. Let us know what you thought of Fooly Cooly Alternative. What did you love? What did you hate? Did you get it? What are you hoping for? Do you love us? Do you hate us? What would you rate us? You're the best. You're the best. What will you review next?
Oh, the hectic
He's
reference.
referencing Anthony Fantano, a YouTuber who does great reviews of music.
My favorite melon.
Shout out to the needle drop.
So I'm just going to end this all off by bringing up my biggest complaint from the show that I didn't address at all so far.
Good choice.
Where was Never Knows Best?
Along with Mamimi.
Beautiful.
Wake up.
Wake up.
Make up.
I'm on it too. You said that with Jacob.
Jacob, you wanted to. Jacob, you wanted to.
Shout outs to Jacob.
Did you want to, Jacob?